Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Bowyer with the Northwest Ohio Patriot Coalition. I'm also the assistant treasurer, too, for the PAC that we just formed. Jeff Leidy, one of my heroes. I think he's done a remarkable job, and his skill set in terms of being able to put this PAC together and get it to work has been amazing. One of the things, I think it was Bill Zahari, where's Bill, who said to me that we were joking around about doing all this work, and he sent me an email once. He said, you know, the problem with conservatives is that most of us are actually working for a living. And he had to go do root canals and fill cavities. And we're trying to get all this done as having a day job. And it's difficult, and I understand that. But you have to be committed to this. And when I got involved with this about a year ago, I said, my husband expressed some concerns. He said, well, what if we get some negative blowback from this? You know, there's a lot of crazy people out there. If you're in the news media, things like that. And I said, hey, you know, you got to stand up at some point and say this is important. And I want to say, I have had none of that. I have had quite the opposite. I've had many, many people who I work with at the university who've come up to me and said, wow, I didn't know you were conservative. I am too. Wow, it's like, you know, a secret club. Ooh, let's have a handshake or something. So again, I hope all of you will stay involved. That was the purpose behind this. I'm really pleased to be able to introduce Warren Edstrom to you. Warren and I have had a few email conversations. He is very involved, and the reason Warren's name was given to be my Maurice Thompson. For those of you who don't know who Maurice is, he is the gentleman who wrote, I guess, the Ohio constitutional amendment that we're hoping to get on the ballot in November on the health care. Maurice is a phenomenal constitutional scholar, in my opinion. And has done a really remarkable job with this. Warren was recommended to us by Maurice. He has been, I didn't get, because I was doing panel discussion at the same time you were, about petitions and organizing in terms of getting petition signatures. Warren is worked with the Knox County, Ohio 912 Project, and he's the co-founder of an organization called the Voices of America, which I hope he will talk us a little bit about. And he is semi-retired, though I have a feeling that being involved with the healthcare amendment and Voices of America, he's probably not retired at all. That's probably more than a full-time job. And so Warren's going to be speaking to us about a little bit about all of the hats that he wears. But we're very proud to have him as one of the patriots in Ohio.
Like so many people in this room, 2 years ago I thought I was never going to go fishing. I retired, but I haven't gone fishing. What I'm doing is consuming my life quite frankly. I have 3 small children though. I'm a late bloomer. I'm 67, the youngest is 9. And I'm looking at what's going on in this country, and I'm thinking to myself, what are they going to inherit? In my retirement, I'm down the tubes, and I got involved in this. And the more I got involved in this, the more fired up I got. And the more fired up I got, the more people wanted me to do, and I can't say no. And so that's why I'm involved in about 6 different projects right now. If you'd have told me 2 years ago that I would have been speaking in front of hundreds and sometimes thousands of people, I would have told you you're nuts. I used to throw up, pass out, and I'm okay. In the Voices of America, we teach precinct organizing. One of the things that I found out is that you don't know how much power you have. When we were doing Ohio 18 candidate nights, after we did the first one, we put the video up on the website. It was a 3.5-hour grueling session of people asking candidates questions. And I have to admit, I was a moderator, and I have to admit, I took a perverse delight in watching the candidates squirm. Okay. We put the video up on the website, and within 12 hours, the RNC had hit it, the DNC hit it, the Democratic National Campaign Committee hit it, 28 congressmen hit it. Within another 24 hours, political consultants had hit it. Then special interest groups hit it, and then large corporations and large unions were hitting it. And I'm thinking to myself, there's 10 of us that put this together. Why all this attention? And the reason for it is we were letting the people ask the questions of the candidates instead of the political parties, because they softball them. When a political party has a town hall or a candidate night, it's like a town hall without the town. Because they softball all the questions, and you never find out anything about that candidate. And then after that, we were doing voter guides on the internet, and Kimberly's going to speak to you a little more about the power of voter guides. It's really great. And we were wondering why the sequence of events here. And what was happening, we figured out, is the politicians are calling up their consultants and saying, look, these guys are basically changing the paradigm on how people are going to get elected in this country. Because right now, because the people aren't involved, because we haven't been involved, big money and big media is what they use to get elected. Because quite frankly, they don't care about you. Number one, you don't work for candidates. Number two, half of you don't vote. And number three, 28 million Christians sat in their hands last election and didn't vote. That has to change. I was fascinated when I got into this movement to find out that 95% of my Knox County Metro group are Christian. And I thought to myself, well, we can activate the Christian community. There's nobody that can beat us. But the problem is getting everybody out there deaf and getting them out there to vote and work for candidates. Don't care who your candidate is. You need to work for them. You need to get involved in the process. And that's why these people are afraid. And the Republicans are just as afraid as the Democrats. You got the good cop, bad cop. If either party was the answer to the problem, why are we here? We have Republicans that were in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency for 6 years, and nothing's changed. The political parties aren't the issue. They cannot save you. Only you can save you. Just as an aside, Maurice's mother's here. Please stand up and take a bow. She was in our first breakout, and when she said, "That's my son." you got a great son. Really great. But anyway, when you need to get involved. You need to get involved in your county organizations. You need to get involved in your state organizations, and you need to work. You need to do things. It's fun to go to rallies, but after the rallies are over, what are you going to do? How are you going to change anything? The only way you can change anything is to vote. Is to get people to vote a certain way, your way, and the only way you can do that is to work. There's a lot of people out there that believe the same way you do that are sitting on their hands wondering, where is everybody? And that's because we haven't contacted them. They haven't seen us. What we did in Knox County was we took our core group, and we took the core group, got them organized, got them educated. We robocalled the rest of the county. If you go to your board elections, you can get your entire registered voter list with telephone numbers most of the time.